Okay, guys, alternate ending. Take 43.
With so many movies on the net and TV, it's kind of hard being up and film savvy. Do you catch a show while you're on the go? And how do you know what to keep or what to throw? How do you know what to keep or what to throw? Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Now, please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
Welcome to Alternate Ending. We're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm your host, film school dropout Robert Jarosinski. Across from me is our casual moviegoer, Carrie Jarosinski. Just in time for Valentine's Day, this episode we're tackling our top 5 first dates. But before we do, Care, speaking of Valentine's Day, what do you have for me for Valentine's Day? It's okay. You can share. There's no surprises between us. What are you planning?
Like a gift, you mean?
Yeah, gift-wise.
I was going to give you what I gave you last year. That handmade card.
Was there a handmade card?
I think so.
Was it wood last? No, that's anniversary.
I think I gave you a handmade card, and remember I framed our kids' handprints.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. That is from the heart.
Nice? Yeah. What did you get me last year?
I don't know. I got you a necklace this year.
That was nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
Our friend is a jewelry artist.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, Julie Walser. And
I like how though, like when you went to go get the necklace that I actually had picked out, which is a big no-no for me, but whatever. We'll go into that another time.
Wait, no, hold on. You
don't pick out your own gifts.
You pick out your own gifts.
I'm
then
highly
you're not
opposed to that. That was a deal breaker many years ago for me. You don't pick out your own gift.
I took Abby to go pick out jewelry for you one time, our 5-year-old daughter.
I loved it.
You wearing it?
I love it.
You wearing that jewelry that we picked up for you?
It's gorgeous.
The gaudy green,
it's gorgeous.
Giant earrings.
Yeah.
I don't see them. You wearing them much around the house.
You just don't notice.
Special occasions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fancy. This one in particular, though, I did pick out, and it is really, really, really pretty.
Well, see, I'm glad you did because I had my eye on something else. So there you go.
What was that?
The key one. The had a really nice
right.
key on it. Key to my heart.
So I guess I am glad I was there.
So what are you doing for me?
I mean, probably again another handprint. I know you
don't have
love
the set.
that.
I don't have the pair. It'll be good.
That's right.
Well, speaking of our kids, we actually tried something new. We did a sleepover in the house. Abby had wanted to kind of sleep in our bed. She gets to from time to time, usually when one of us is traveling, which
it's like
is
the
fine.
incentive when somebody else is traveling.
And we had movies to watch, we were trying to push that off as much as we could. So Carrie came up with the idea, how about we just do like a camp out in the family room?
I actually don't. I like that you're saying that this was not my idea.
Wasn't your idea?
No, it was not.
I don't remember
I would never have ever thought of sleeping on a hard floor in a sleeping bag with all of our children.
What's hilarious is you're saying this now, and it didn't go well.
It didn't really
go well.
poorly,
Our
yeah.
youngest 2-year-old Alice got up in the middle of the night, and
then I got up with her. Then she slept on me. Then she wanted juice.
Right.
And it was 3 a.m. She thought it was morning
my
time.
back was out from like sleeping on the ground, so it was terrible. But yet,
it was
it's
awful.
funny that you have this opinion of camping in the family room. But had we taken this excursion outdoors in the summertime,
it's totally different.
You want to go camp. You want me to
outside.
It's softer outside.
The sounds, the smells, the fresh air lull you to sleep. We wouldn't have had the issues that we had with our kids waking up.
To me, this is a glimpse of exactly what you get when you go. This is worse. So I was kind of doing it as a test run for you to see what it would be like if we took both girls camping. But you're still wanting to do it. Alas.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the worth mentioning segment. Of the movies we've seen since the last episode, which are the ones we want to talk about most? They could be great movies. They could be terrible. We share them worst to first. How many movies have you seen since the last episode?
So I'm being true to myself and trying not to lie to you.
Always appreciated.
I know. On this particular topic. I think I only saw one.
You saw one movie?
I think that I actually made it through the entire movie of.
Yeah, you've been sleepy.
I've been really sleepy.
Yeah, you've been burning burning the candle at both ends. Is that a saying?
I've been traveling into the office quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's a 3-hour commute each way, and it makes for some long.
Netflix doesn't work out on the train rides in?
No, I make friends with people on the train, usually awkwardly after like work happy hours and things like that. So met a nice man with Tourette's the last time. I don't think I told you about that on the way home. Did I mention that to you?
You mentioned we never got to finish the story.
No, I never told you the story. Yeah, he was swearing at me at first. By the end, we had a really, really good chat about the economics of unions and why they're important. And I feel like we left on a good note.
Big perk for me getting married really was just the economics of the whole situation.
Yeah. I'm glad we're on the same page.
So I saw 8 movies, and I'm right on pace for 200.
8 movies
for 2017. You fell asleep during a lot of them. It was a lot of lonely nights for me.
Okay.
Do you think there'll be any? Well, since you saw one, I guess the likelihood of an overlap is slim to none. Although we'll likely be
probable.
I'm assuming we're going to be talking about our Patreon subscriber for one of them. We must. That's,
sure. So I guess 2. I saw 2.
Oh, okay. So you saw 2.
I saw 2.
Okay, good.
I was saving that for something special.
All right. What's the first one you saw?
The first one I was going to chat about was the 2016 movie Fundamentals of Caring.
Not one of my 2 that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, good,
yeah.
Good.
I'm glad you're bringing this up because I did want to talk about it, so I kind of got lucked out there.
Yeah, it's good. It had been recommended by a few people on our Facebook page.
People got into it. One person,
Kellen
Rogenbach mentioned it first, and then Aaron Mullen kind of jumped on and said...
There were a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So it's directed and written by Rob Burnett. It stars Paul Rudd, Craig Roberts, and Selena Gomez. I had mentioned before seeing it that pretty much anything with Paul Rudd appeals to me. And I just had high expectations. And that's sort of my review of this movie is my expectations were higher than they should have been. It's a story about a man who suffers this catastrophic loss, let's just say, and he sort of goes to turn his life around and goes into the business of getting a job in caregiving. So he starts caring for this young teenager played by Craig Roberts, and it's sort of a road trip story.
Yeah.
It gets a 7.4 on IMDb. I wanted to love it so much, and so the entire time I was sitting there, I already had my popcorn, all my candy was just laid all over my body, and I was prepped to enjoy this. I was expecting it to be very Perks of Being a Wallflower-ish. I don't know why, just maybe because of the people that recommended it to me. And again,
because Paul Rudd's in it.
Yeah, I think that's why. I guess that is exactly why. And so I don't know. Part of me, as it ended, thought that I would have liked the movie more. Or I was trying to convince myself that I would have liked the movie more if it had been a different cast, maybe. Like, not keep Paul Rudd in.
I didn't mind.
I don't know that
I didn't mind Craig Roberts. If that's you said that's his name.
I liked him.
I think my problem was just expectations.
Yeah,
that was a big thing.
Too high.
Now, had I just come across this is a Netflix original movie. You can find it streaming right now on Netflix. Had I just come across it, I would have given it like a meh. But because I had such high expectations, I feel very disappointed by it. The direction was not great, and the writing was pretty weak, and the plot
and the interaction between the characters didn't draw me in to be really connected.
It wasn't
with the
authentic.
Characters. It didn't feel authentic to me. It just felt like
Paul Rudd's doing what he can, being funny. I'm sure a lot of the stuff that we were laughing at was probably just him
mostly Paul Rudd
ad-libbing.
The highlight for me was a scene where Paul Rudd's trying to get Craig Roberts to eat a bite. He's a very set in his ways guy, trying to get him to eat a bite of. He's British, which helps the humor. To have a bite of his Slim Jim, and so he's kind of like smacking him in the face with the Slim Jim, and he's like, do you want a bunch of the James? And I don't know why that was probably the funniest part of the entire movie for me. And we joked
You've now
back
ruined
and forth.
it for so many people.
I mean, that was the high of the movie. Overall, I'd say if you caught it for free, I think it's worth seeing for free.
Worth seeing for free. I don't know if I can, for my Team Rob peeps, like I don't think I could say like it's worth seeing for free even. Like I'd say, maybe move along. It's right there in between for me. All
right. Well, good middle of the road movie.
One thing for my folks to just keep moving on, and this movie came somewhat recommended to me, just from word of mouth that I've heard from other podcasts, to be honest. This is 2014's Maps to the Stars. I'm bringing this up because I want people to avoid it at all costs.
I fell asleep, right?
You fell asleep, but I think you were like, I'm checking out. And
I
it
think
was
I
like a
forced- I
decision.
think I
You're
willed
like,
myself
you're
into
like,
sleep now that I remember
I don't want to
this.
watch any more of this, and I wish I could have been there right there
I
with you.
thought it was going to be Fault in My Stars. It was not, and then I willed myself to sleep.
No,
That's
it's
right.
definitely not Fault.
That's right.
Fault to Stars. This is, again, 2014's Map to the Stars, hour 51 minutes. IMDb gives it a 6.2, Rotten Tomatoes 61%. Written by Bruce Wagner, directed by David Cronenberg, who's directed The Fly, Scanners, Eastern Promises, History of Violence. I basically listed all of the movies that I like of David Cronenberg, but he is very hit or miss. Actually, also liked Existence a little bit, quite a bit. Stars Julianne Moore, Mia Wasikowska, and Robert Pattinson. And it's basically a tour. The synopsis is a tour into the heart of a Hollywood family chasing celebrity and their ghosts, too. It really is just a cross-section of Hollywood. And clearly, Cronenberg and Wagner have a particular feeling of Hollywood types because it's not, people in Hollywood are not painted very well with this movie. And it's kind of the worst possible depiction of humanity being these Hollywood types. Vignettes of different people, but all of them kind of intersect and get connected once again.
Just avoid it, right?
Just avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even talk about it anymore.
I kind of don't want to talk about it. It was his first film, David Cronenberg's first film shot in the U.S. The only reason this movie got made, he's been trying to make it for about like 10 years. Robert Pattinson had just joined on the cast, and producers gave it a green light. All the money started coming in. His character was so small. I think it was made for $15 million and grossed under $500,000.
Yeah, it was
so
bad.
It was a terrible movie. I thought this was one that got by, that diamond in the rough that I'm always looking for, and it was just terrible. I will say Julianne Moore's performance, as outrageous as it is very good. As outrageous of a character, I just don't like that. I don't like the character she's playing, but she does it so well that she makes me not like her so well.
Skip it.
Skip it. What's next for you? I have a feeling I know what's going to be.
Now you know.
Yeah.
I've spoiled it a bit. It's Bone Cop, Bad Cop.
Bone Cop, Bad Cop. Yeah, James Cooper, our Patreon, our first Patreon subscriber, grabbing the Critics' Choice. Tim has to do a written review of this. We were asked to watch this as well too. Just wrapped up watching this.
We did. We watched it in a two-part series. It's directed by Eric Canuel, written by Leila Bassen and Alex Epstein. I apologize if this is a movie that you love and I'm butchering their names. It's the story of two Canadian detectives, one from Ontario, the other one from Quebec. Both speak different languages, so this is a partially subtitled movie. And they find a murdered victim on the border
literally on the border of the sign of welcome to Ontario.
And the man is on the sign. And so they're very different in their approaches. If you don't know, Bone Cop means good cop.
Oh.
A bit of a spoiler there.
Just dropping knowledge.
I am. That's what I'm here for. So it's kind of like a good cop, bad cop movie, as from the title.
Yeah, it's the trope of uptight cop meets
like rough
has
and
to
tumble.
Be partnered with loose cannon cop.
Yeah.
And
doesn't follow any rules, and the other guy's very buttoned up. It stars Michael Baudry, Patrice Bellinger, and Pierre Boudreau.
Really? I had Patrick Hewitt in Confiore. I know Confiore is definitely the main actor, the Martin.
There's
Martin
some people
Ward.
in there.
Yeah, I think you just listed the names of the characters. Did you just say Martin Ward?
No.
What did you say?
I said Michael Baudry.
Oh, okay. I don't know who those people are.
They're in the movie somewhere. And
like
he was he was the guy that did the Houdini, or not the Houdini, the Zamboni
sure.
guy. He gets a 7.0 on IMDb. Thank you for recommending this to us because it's not one that we would have otherwise chosen.
This was hard to track down. This is one of the few movies I could not find on Amazon.
Where did you find it?
I had to send away for it on Netflix, and thankfully Netflix had it. This is a Canadian movie. This is I'm sure it appeals to those who are from Canada, and there's a lot of inside jokes, I think, and especially hockey. There's which is very much Canadian. There's a lot of hockey jokes, and there's a plot that revolves around hockey to a degree.
Yeah.
And then I guess I didn't realize there must be some hatred between French Canadians and English speaking Canadians that I'm unaware of, but it plays on that
The whole movie.
Yeah, they beat that one quite a bit.
What'd you think?
Yeah, not my favorite. It was. I would put it on. It was trying to have a darkness of 7. It was trying to.
I was thinking 7 when I saw it.
It was trying to very hard, but it's also the production value of a TV show.
Yeah.
So it's the production value of a TV show trying to be 7, but then infused with comedy or attempts at comedy, which I was laughing more of it's slapsticky a little bit. Yeah, it just didn't. It wasn't for me. I guess.
wanted to like it too again because I like when somebody recommends something to me. So I like...
You feel compelled.
I feel compelled to like it. So I kept looking for what I was missing and just assuming that I was missing something in this movie. I don't think that it was bad. I don't think that it was great. I think it was okay. I do actually like the good cop, bad cop type thing. I like
the trope.
Two ends. Yeah, I like the two ends coming together, and I like them to bond together over something. It just there was a little bit hokey at times, and then, the acting. I actually thought the good cop actor was significantly a better actor.
That's interesting to say. He's more well known. He's more of an established actor.
And the other guy was a little.
In the U.S.
His expression seemed a little contrived and forced. He was less believable to me. The bone cop.
Wait, the good cop was better?
Oh, wait, sorry.
No, the bad
I got
cop.
my French messed up. Hang on. Sorry.
That middle school quarter that you took of French is coming back.
I took Spanish. Yeah. The bad cop was less believable to me, and it got a little weird at points, and there were a couple scenes that seemed unnecessary, and the relationship
there
between...
were parts where it faded out, like between scenes, between cuts, where it was like a TV show.
Yeah.
Where it cuts to the outside of for just a moment, the outside of the police station, and then cuts back in. That's something you'd see on Psych.
Maybe it was low cost. I should have looked into the cost to make it too. Maybe there's more to it than that.
I think it was made for 8 million Canadian.
So that's like $2 million.
That's at least like $1.
$1 in US.
Joking. No, but it's very successful in Canada. In October 2006, it ended Porky's 24-year reign as the highest-grossing Canadian movie at the Canadian box office, and then it just recently lost in 2010.
So what you're saying is we're
Evil.
missing something.
We're missing a lot of the in-jokes.
Sure.
And the nods to Canada and hockey.
Sure.
Like I'm from Colorado, so I'm very familiar with the Nordiques being sold to Colorado and going from Canada. And a lot of people were ticked that happened, pissed that happened. So, to make a movie based on it, there's a Van Damme hockey movie that I'm blanking on right now, but that I much preferred. I think I much preferred Van Damme doing hockey.
But appreciate the recommendation. So
yeah,
I just appreciated trying something that I wouldn't have otherwise seen.
No, very good. So, and remember, you can find more details about all the movies we've watched at our new website, alternateending.com. That's alternateending.com. Am I still allowed to call it a new website now that we're almost a month in?
You can.
Okay.
You can still do that.
Before we head to our break, we get asked a lot about ways to support the show. We just talked about James Cooper supporting us through Patreon, giving us the recommendation. Direct from our website, you can access our Patreon page, which provides you access to a ton of perks. We just got a new patron, who just snagged Erin. That's all I know is her name is he or her name.
What's the spelling?
E-R-I-N?
It's a girl.
Okay. She grabbed the Critics' Choice Award, so still waiting to hear back what movie she's going to assign Tim, myself, and you to both watch and review.
I'm excited.
Go on to our Patreon page, check out what the awards are. A lot of fun things that you can kind of make us do. There's even a thing where you can go and we'll take you out for a movie date. And I also want to mention our Amazon page. Making purchases through our Amazon page really helps us out. It's easy. Go to alternating.com, click on our Amazon banner, seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. Since our last episode, this is kind of fun for me. We actually had quite a bit of purchases.
Really?
So yeah, you ready to go through these?
I'm ready.
Okay. So since the last episode, here are the things that were purchased. Book. Josephus, The Complete Works. Not familiar?
Haven't read it.
Pit Posse Motorcycle Removable Narrow Wheel Chalk Nest Trailer. So it's a trailer for a motorcycle. So
That's actually really cool.
It's very pragmatic.
All of these things I always want to know who they are.
You can't fit a whole lot of stuff on a
Who
motorcycle,
do you know that
so
has
you
a
trail.
motorcycle?
My dad drove one, like one of those like sidecar ones.
Yeah, I know.
Like he was into that. I still need to get in that. This was interesting. A Bosch amp planer, I think for wood.
Okay.
For doing stuff to wood, planing it.
That was you, wasn't
Whatever.
it?
Yeah, clearly, because I know this means planing to me.
Yeah.
I'm moving my hand back and forth.
Yeah.
Principles of Art History, interesting. On the History of Film Styles, it must have been a film buff getting the film book. We also got some clothing.
Really?
Vanity Fair, Women's True Comfort, Cotton Stretch 5-pack bikini panties. Oh, was this my Valentine's Day gift? Is it pack of 5?
I need some new underwear.
Yes, you do.
That's rude. That's very rude. But I'll have to look into what they got.
Well, we appreciate all the purchases, guys. And very new to our site, just added right now, we are now sponsors of Blue Apron and also consumers of Blue Apron. Blue Apron just sent us, I think our first package will be arriving the day after Valentine's Day, so a little late, but I'm excited. We're going to be getting 3 meals, one of them being a Cajun catfish.
Are you making this
with
for
some
me?
rice. I'm going to cook it.
All right.
I'm going to do it. I know we've had Blue Apron
right.
before, and I did it, and it was amazing. It was a great
You
experience.
did do a really good job with it.
Thank you. It was. I think it might have been
Yeah.
catfish as well, but kind of a different
Yeah.
different take on it. So I'm excited to get it again. And right now, for all of our listeners, if you click through our banner, you get $30 off your first meal. It's kind of a no-brainer to do it. That
So
was
wait,
the
it's
whole
only
reason.
$60
Yeah.
to begin with.
Yeah, $60. So you're getting 3 meals, 3 two-person meals for $30.
Oh, that's
Can't
not a
beat
bad-
it. It's a
bad deal.
no-brainer. Just sign up, try it, give it a shot.
Can we
If you
click
don't
through
like
our
it-
own banner?
No, it's a little late for that since we've already signed up. I've tried
Okay,
different variations and trying
You know,
to sign
like
up
a
under
good deal.
different. Yeah, no, it's a great deal, and I know I know you're budget conscious. It actually is very affordable, so I'm looking
Okay. forward
forward to trying to do this more often and kind of,
right.
create a little date night for us, and I'll cook.
Yeah. I remember that time you cooked in 2008.
We're gonna get a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be cooking Blue Apron. We'll be taking some pictures, seeing how it works
All
out
right,
for us
all
if the
right.
meals turn out. When we get back, we'll be talking about our top 5 first dates. And welcome back to Alternating, where we're talking about our top 5 first dates. Okay, Carrie, how did you select your first dates?
This in time in particular didn't do what I normally do, where I just try to hone all of my previous movie knowledge. This time I just had to do a lot of Googling because I couldn't. So here was the thing. This was different for me because I was trying to hone in on individual scenes, and it was harder to get at there's so many lovey movies. But then when I was trying to actually zero in on when was there really a specific first date?
Yeah.
So to get to a
it was
first
hard.
date,
It was so hard.
It was really hard.
Yeah,
so I
very
ended up
hard.
doing some searching and then looking through lists because I couldn't remember.
I couldn't find lists. I had trouble finding lists.
Oh, there were lots of lists.
I wanted to do research on this, but
Yeah.
it kept coming back, and we talked a little bit about this to our Facebook Live folks just right before we started. It kept coming back as hey, here are good movies to take for a first date, or here are movies to watch on a date.
Yeah.
And that's not what I was interested in.
You want the first date from a movie.
Yeah.
So I think I landed there. I think I'm good. I'm sure I feel like I've missed ones, but I feel good. I know the movies that I have in my top 5 are ones that I love, and so I feel good about it.
Let me tell you about this. Let me
You just do
drop
that.
some knowledge on
Okay.
you here. The average Rotten Tomatoes score for my 5, the average is 29%. That's what I'm bringing to the table today.
So you're bringing some real poopers.
That very well may be lower than my bottom 5 movies of all time if you combine them together.
Yeah. I think that's actually lower. I think that's right around where your best movies were too,
Okay,
right?
ouch. Yeah.
No.
No, I kind of saw what the audience was writing in. I wanted to introduce some things that I personally enjoy. I know they're not great movies. They're not great movies.
Okay.
But they're great first dates. So
Excellent.
with that, any overlap? I'm expecting
No.
maybe 1.
1.
Okay.
1 to 2.
Number 5 to you. No, I'm saying 1.
All
Number
right.
5 for you.
Number
and
5?
describe, and when you do this, describe the scene for us to the first date. Describe
really?
the first
I
date.
will. I will. What if I don't know the first date?
That's the whole point of the episode.
All right.
I don't care about the movie.
I'll try. So the first movie that I chose as my number 5 is the 1997 flick, The Little Mermaid.
Wow.
Directed and written by, is it on your list?
No, just a solid choice.
Oh, thanks.
Just a good choice.
Thanks. Written and directed by Ron Clements and John Musker. I don't even, it's weird to describe the plot of these movies because you feel like everybody's seen them, but a mermaid princess named Ariel.
Yeah, you don't need to do it.
Okay.
Describe the date scene.
Okay, I'll describe the date scene.
Why did this mean so much to you as a first date for number 5?
This movie meant everything. So it was my favorite movie when I back in the 90s. Favorite Disney movie. When they get together for their first date. All right, let me get to their first date. Now I'm picturing their first date. So this is after she's gone through this whole hoopla of giving up her voice, and she has to give up is that a spoiler? It's a spoiler. It's a little bit of a spoiler.
It's a bit of a spoiler.
She has to give up her voice to actually become a human, to become not a mermaid, so that she can go and find Prince Eric.
Right.
And then
this is the first date now. She's done all this.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's obviously given up the ultimate sacrifice. She's left her family. She's left the crabs. She's left everything in the ocean. And
left the crabs.
Now she's on land, and so, but she can't talk. And so they go out on their first date. Are you thinking of the boat scene? Or are you thinking
the boat scene is what I'm thinking of as their official first date.
Okay, so their official first date. So they go, and she has to. The thing is, she has to have him kiss her, and in order to do that, but she can't talk. So they're out in the boat, and they're rowing along, and he really likes her because she's obviously super cute, and they're rowing along, and then all the stuff around them in the lagoon they start singing. It's magical. And the frogs start croaking, and the other water creatures start making noises, and they start singing like the pa la 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 my oh my, you wanna that song, and it's so magical and it's awesome. You want to kiss the girl, and I won't tell you how that scene ends, but it was an awesome first date, and I know that if I was on a first date in a boat like that in a lagoon, it would be a good date. That's
a high bar to set for first dates for most people.
Yeah. So that's my number 5.
Good selection.
Good luck. You try to work up from that.
It's tough. That's a high bar you've set.
Yeah.
Number 5 for me. Not. I'll stand by it. Kind of similar. High expectations of a first date because it's Hitch. It's the guy.
I have bad memories of that movie.
2005, Hitch.
Tell me about it.
He is the matchmaker.
Yeah.
He is the guy who sets people up, teaches them how to date, how to successfully get with women, to fall in love with you. So he should be good at this, right? He should be, but he's not.
You mean Will Smith?
Will Smith should be good at this. I could have also went with Kevin James in his first date with Allegra, the character's name Allegra. But I went with Will Smith and Eva Mendes, their first date, where they go on a jet ski. So a little bit on Hitch. Again, while helping his latest client woo the fine lady of his dreams, a professional date doctor finds that his game doesn't quite work for a woman a little bit kind of against type for him. So they go on this jet ski, and I picked movies where I could see myself being in this.
You're the other guy, though, for sure.
Where it seems sweet or cute, but if I were to do it, it would totally be awkward and weird.
Yeah,
and I've been in those situations. I've talked about how instead of flowers, I got a ficus. That was not cool.
That was not cool. No.
Where I paid off a girl's mobile
phone.
Mobile
that
phone
was
plan.
So weird.
She couldn't use her phone. I thought that would be helpful.
No, that was weird.
Yeah. I thought that would be a nice first date kind of situation.
I'm creeped out.
So Hitch develops this crazy plan, starts off on a jet ski, kicks her in the face, trying to do something cute and sweet, and join up jet skis, and roundhouse kicks her in the face. Then takes her to Ellis Island, where her family, her ancestors came for the first time, and finds the spot, the name where her ancestors.
Hispanic?
I think Italian in the movie or something. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. I don't. She is in real life.
Bit of a plot hole. Okay.
Yeah, but they find it, and then it she's crying. You think it's tears of joy, but it's actually sad tears because the person who came over on Ellis Island was her great great uncle who was a mass murderer. She her family had tried to put that back.
I forgot about that.
Every little thing that he's trying to do
is failing.
And that to me is the top
is success.
Number 5. That's success for me because that's a failure for me too. It's I try these types of grandiose things and I fail so triumphantly.
Yeah.
So Hitch failing, it really hit home with me. That was my number 5.
I can see that. Yeah.
Number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me is the 1995 movie Before Sunrise.
It's on my also worth mentionings. Yeah, the ones that I thought about.
I've talked about this movie before. Rob recommended. This was one of my recs from several episodes ago.
The whole movie is a first date.
Well, and that's why I made my list. So it's directed and written by Richard Linklater, who everybody knows makes for really, really long anticlimactic movies. It's the story of a young man and a woman who meet on a train in Europe. They spend one day together in Vienna, and unfortunately they know that it's short-lived, that's going to come to an end. But it's basically a scene of Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy walking.
It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of talking.
But here's what I love. It gets an 8.1 on IMDb. I know I've talked about it before, but it's a 1 in a 3-part series, and they make the movies every 7 years, is it, or 9?
I think it's not that they've been trying to. It just happens that
just so happens.
On average, like it's every 7-8 years. Yeah.
It's the story of them every 7 to 9 years or something like that, and it's just so real. And I really loved it the first time I saw it anyway, and I was so compelled to continue watching the other ones because it's so first date.
Here's a thought that's popped in my head, though, as you said this. I think I prefer the Ever After endings. I don't want to know 7 years later. That depresses me. Like, since those movies...
What do you mean? That's life.
That is life. And I realize, like, I'm one of those people who actually likes those real type movies. But for them, it would have been nice to have just ended. And
I disagree with you.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy with where they're at.
Well, you know what? Life isn't happy, man.
I know. Yeah.
I love the fact that
Ever After would have been nice for them.
The feeling that you get in this movie of the butterflies and the conversation, those first conversations where you know nothing about each other and everything is new, is such an awesome feeling.
Totally. Let's leave it there.
And yeah, you're let's not move to kids.
On to that.
Let's not move to kids and real life and bills. Yeah, I know. But I think this is a perfect descriptor of the first date, and it's one that I think I would recommend people see, and it made my number 4.
Very good. Number 4 for me, one that I know is not on your list, but when I'm going to say it, you're going to be like, oh. Are you ready?
Disagree.
I don't even know what I'm going to say.
No, I just know I'm not going to go, oh.
All right, ready? Curly Sue.
I just did that on purpose.
Thanks. 1991.
No, but
Curly
really?
Sue.
What was the first date?
The first date. So
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. So... I mean, it's not a great movie. It's IMDb 5.7, Rotten Tomatoes 14%. This
14%?
What's
How do you get that 14%?
Dragging down my average. Directed by John Hughes, starring Jim Belushi, Kelly Lynch, and the new voice winner from the 10th season of Voice, Allison Porter. She's been like off the grid for years and then came on to win The Voice at age 35 or whatever. Synopsis: a homeless man and his young companion who survive by conning people meet a woman who may need them even more than they need her. So again, uptight.
Who plays the dude? Bill Murray?
No, Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi. Oh, they're the same person. Yeah.
So she's an uptight, kind of wealthy person, meets a homeless father and daughter.
Times.
So the date they go on is the kind of date that I would like to do. Again, she's very wealthy. She's used to kind of the well-to-do things. He takes her on like, this is how we get by kind of a date. So they go, and the way they even get to their destination is they jump on the sidecar of back of a trolley. They go to a wedding and crash a wedding to get their meal for free. And then they go to a movie and they sneak in the back entrance.
This is an unusual pick for you.
Well, that really resonated for me, that whole...
Stealing of food, crashing of weddings?
Well, no, just kind of getting, like, I don't know, exposing someone to something different that they may never have thought of before. Like, hey, this is how we live, this is how we do it. There's a scene in particular where they're eating popcorn, and they're eating popcorn next to this kind of larger fellow, and Jim Belushi just starts laughing, and then instinctually like, hey, starts choking and like gets the guy's soda,
totally, yeah.
And then passes the soda on down the line. And it like opens up this kind of uptight woman's mind, like, this is kind of fun. And
thievery.
I don't know, that was a fun first date. So that's what stood out to me as I wanted to bring in something. And I wanted to mention Curly Sue. I've been looking for a way to bring up Curly Sue into, I don't know, for me,
it's on the tip of your tongue.
1991, like, I was 9 years old. Like that.
I love that movie.
Really,
I would never have ever thought of it as being a first date movie, but I do love that movie for many reasons.
Steve Carell's first film debut. He plays a small role in there, and then John Hughes' final movie, unfortunately. But yeah, movie theater, wedding crash, kind of hitch and rides. I liked it. Number 3 for you.
Number 3 for me. 2004. Okay.
Nope.
No?
I don't think so. No.
50 First Dates.
Oh.
And meets the criteria clearly from the title. Wouldn't you say?
I guess it kind of works.
It's written by George Wing, directed by Peter Segal. Is that Peter Segal? Like the Peter Segal with like the the hair slicked back.
Are you saying Steven
Oh,
Seagal?
never mind.
Oh, my
Just forget I
goodness.
said that.
No,
Forget
no,
I
no.
said that.
Let's keep on this. Let's embarrass you thoroughly.
Peter Seagal sounds really familiar to me.
Well, he's a pretty well-known director.
That too.
Yeah.
So
Who also does martial arts.
does he?
No, that's Steven
Okay,
Seagal.
sorry. Okay, so So Henry Roth is a man afraid of commitment up until he meets Lucy, who's played by Drew Barrymore. And
Lucy.
I know. There's something about being called Lucy anyway that already makes this movie cute. They hit it off, and Henry thinks that he's finally found the girl of his dreams until he discovers that she has short-term memory loss, making every day that she meets him the first day. It's played by Adam Sandler as Henry Roth. It has Rob Schneider in it as well. It only gets a 6.8 on IMDb. I knew when I watched this that it's not cinematic excellence by any means. It was super, super cute, and I'm not a huge Adam Sandler fan, generally speaking, because I think he's a moron. But whenever he plays this character, whatever character he's playing in this, where he's just a regular person that's not making weird faces and sounds, I really, really...
Like The Wedding Singer.
I like The Wedding Singer.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
I love The Wedding Singer.
Yeah. Love The Wedding Singer. I'm not a Happy Gilmore fan. I'm not like when he's talking to the soaps or whatever. He's just annoying. In this one in particular, it was a really cute movie and a lot of ukulele playing. Love the ukulele. Love the Somewhere Over the Rainbow song. There's just a lot of things
It's set in
here.
Hawaii, so
It's
yeah,
set in
what's
Hawaii.
not to like?
What can't you love about it? It was cute, and I love Drew Barrymore just in everything. So I loved this movie, and it was one that left me. I think it had a good message just about, how to live and what's important.
What was your favorite of the 50?
37.
Number 37?
Number 37 was definitely the most compelling. Like, that's where I would have stuck around, was number 37. Okay. So this made my number...
No, I can't argue. I'm not arguing with you very much on this one. You've made some good picks.
That's good.
Number 3 for me, which you may argue, again, low on the Rotten Tomatoes. This one's a 25%er.
Yeah.
But again, right around that 1991. It actually came out the same year.
No.
A little movie with Ethan Hawke. Is it Before Sunrise? No, it's not Before Sunrise.
It's After Sunrise.
Nope, neither.
It's
it is
Before Sunset.
Mystery Date.
Oh, I've
Mystery
never seen
Date.
that.
Hour 37 minutes. Ethan Hawke has been pining over this girl next door, Terry Polo, who you might remember as Ben Stiller's wife from Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
So this
I
is
like her.
both of their film debuts. And a teenage boy who would like to meet with this very pretty blonde girl just doesn't have the courage. So his kind of swarmy older brother, gives him his credit card for the night. He's like, take the car. Like, just be me for the night. Be me. Take my identity. So he goes and he starts going on this date, and then all hell breaks loose. His brother, not such a great guy, apparently, has criminals. He's a thief and has criminals like after him. And because Ethan Hawke, his brother, is using his card and trying to pass himself off as him, people are after him and now his girl on his first date. They go through a series of unfortunate events, and it's funny. It's played for laughs, but there's some tension as well too. It'd be a fun, adventurous first date to go on, and I just really enjoyed it. It's a movie that sticks out to me from my childhood. I don't even know how you track this kind of movie down, but yeah, Mystery Date. Okay. Ethan Hawke's film debut, not his film debut, his leading first where he gets top billing.
Yeah.
Where he's a lead actor.
What year was it again? I know you said it 4 times.
I think I have it as 1991.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a corpse. There's Chinatown, there's gangsters, there's stolen art.
First dates.
Yeah, it's
right there.
It's kind of like first fish out of water, first date, and you're thrown into this situation where you have to kind of deal with it. And Terry Polo is a pretty solid actor.
I feel good about myself this week.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm picking personal favorites. I'm not picking great movies.
I am too.
Picking movies, date scenes that stood out to me, first date scenes.
All right.
All right, number 2 for you.
Here's another one. Think you forgot about it. Pretty awesome. 2012 movie.
No, it's not on my list.
Silver Linings Playbook.
I have it as a honorable mention.
So
good dates,
I've recommended
good first date scene.
So good. I've loved this movie ever since I saw it. Whenever you introduced it to me and we watched it together, it's an awesome movie that I recommend to a lot of people. I recommended it to my sister, and she did not like it. But
She didn't like it?
no, I don't think she did. I think it
Oh.
was too weird. Again, it could be that expectation
man,
thing.
that
I think
first date
sometimes you
scene-
come in with a list. The first date
Oh,
scene.
man, now I feel it. And I'm like,
You should feel bad
I
about
regret
yourself.
not having it on my list.
I think you should. It's written and directed by David O. Russell, also written by Matthew Quick. So I don't know how to describe this movie. After a stint in a mental institution, a former teacher played by Bradley Cooper, Pat Solitano, moves back in with his parents and tries to reconcile with his ex-wife. Meanwhile, the other character played by Jennifer Lawrence, who I obviously love, everybody loves, she meets with him.
She's got her own problems.
She's got her own problems. Friend of a friend. Both of them suffer from mental illness. But they both have their own. So they both have their own mental illness that they're sort of struggling with, and their own emotional problems that they're struggling with. And so the two come together to initially help each other, sort of solve for the current life problems, and then it's the relationship that ensues from them trying to help each other through their own respective problems. And it is awesome. So the scene in particular I'm thinking of, are you thinking of the restaurant scene?
Restaurant scene, sure.
So so I watched another clip of it again when I was putting this list together, and I remembered it, but it was one of those where I rarely laugh independently. Like, you laugh in crowds. I watched this clip and I was just chuckling and I was grimacing at the same time.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I'm laughing too.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
So the two of them were together and they're at a date. They both have their meals, and he's trying to figure out ways. He's not worried about getting back with his wife. But then Jennifer Lawrence says, I have an in, and he says, "Oh, you do?" I mean, it's this back and forth, this exchange that happens. YouTube it if you can. Silver Linings Playbook, Dinner. If you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend
streaming, I
seeing
think,
it.
on Netflix right now for free.
It is. It's for free.
Just go.
You have to see it.
This is a can't miss movie.
You can't miss it. It's a hysterical
for free,
movie,
especially for free.
And I highly recommend it. But the scene in particular with their first date, which entails talking about other people, but ends, with them uniting, is an awesome scene.
It's another good pick. I'm feeling
small, aren't you?
Yeah, a little tiny.
Yeah.
Number two my number two is not going to help much. It is a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. But again, it's made in 1988. It kind of has that John Hughes vibe to it as well. It's not directed by John Hughes. It stars the Coreys. When I say the Coreys, I'm talking about Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. I'm talking about a little movie called License to Drive.
Never seen it.
You've never seen License to Drive?
No.
Oh man,
I've been busy.
This is my high school experience of wanting this situation. Do you know anything about it?
No.
A teen decides to go for a night on the town with his friend despite flunking his driver's test. It says friend. It's really he's after this girl. I think he might be a junior. She's a senior. Mercedes Lane is her name.
Her name is Mercedes Lane.
She drives a Mercedes as well, which
sounds excellent.
Stars Heather Graham. And Corey Haim is pining after this girl. No shot. He's got no shot
Corey
at this.
Haim is
the one who unfortunately passed away not too long ago.
Still help me here. So he's dark hair?
He's
from
dark hair? That doesn't help.
Was it long dark hair?
Long dark hair.
Corey, he was. What else was he in? He was in.
He was in License to Drive.
No, but he was in other stuff.
Corey Feldman was in The Goonies, who you might be confusing Corey Feldman with. They were both. Corey Haim was also in the vampire movie. You're going to put me on the spot here.
He was in...
he was the younger brother.
Monster...
No, not Monsters.
No.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
It should be, because I know what his face looks like.
I'm picturing the cover of the
Just
movie
move
poster.
along. I'll look it up.
So anyway, the Coreys. Corey Haim, Heather Graham. Yeah, I really like this movie. So it's a series of unfortunate events. He finally gets a date with Mercedes Lane after her boyfriend kind of is kind of a jerk. And as most boyfriends in these 80s movies are of the girl that you're after, is they're jerks. So they set up the opportunity for the nice guy to swoop in and grab her. And he ends up taking his dad's caddy out without a license. He fails his driver's ed test. takes the caddy out with his friends. They go out kind of on a night, bumps into Mercedes, and then ends up taking her out. And then again, a lot of unfortunate things occur. There are so many funny moments in this movie over the course of the night. It all kind of takes place the night into the early morning. And I just really enjoyed the movie, and I really enjoyed the date. And I could see this being me, a situation that I'm involved in.
Okay.
So. Did you pull up the vampire movie?
It's not who I thought it was.
Okay.
Corey Haim is not who I thought it was.
Okay. What's the vampire movie? Did you get that?
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys. That would have bothered me. Thank you.
I was thinking of. Let me see. I think I was thinking of Corey Feldman. I was thinking of Corey Feldman. I was thinking of Corey Feldman.
Dream a Little Dream.
I just
know
had him
Corey
switched.
Feldman is. Okay, yeah. That's why I call him the Corys.
The long dark-haired guy.
Long dark. Okay, yes. So that would have been Corey Feldman.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm glad
Who's
we're on
a
the same
musician
page.
now? Check out his music.
I've heard it. It's
Oh yeah, I played it for you that one time when he was on the Today Show.
yeah. It was not my particular
I'm sorry.
taste,
I feel
but
bad.
I have poor taste in music. So
All right. What's your so far? Nothing.
my number one comes to
What was
you
that?
from 1985.
Oh, my number one's an '80s movie as well, but not 1985. Let me look at my honorable mention. Let me take a guess.
Don't do it because you're going to say it.
Could it either be Can't
Yep.
Buy Me Love,
No.
Naked Gun?
No.
Okay, never mind.
I really thought you would guess
Superman?
it. No.
Okay.
How could you
No,
not?
that's not 85.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
So 1985, Back to the Future.
Oh, sure.
Oh, I have
Sure.
such a passion for this movie, and I don't know
That makes
how
sense.
it actually has. It does make sense. I don't know how this actually hasn't crossed paths with my lists in the past for anything else. I don't think it should have probably neared the top of
So
my
your
favorite movies of all time.
your perfect first date would be going on a date with your dad?
I mean, he's pretty awesome. So, or Crispin Glover. See what I did there? Threw out a name.
It's really the lesser of
It's
two
your
evils there.
greasy hair is working really well for you.
Oh, I do have the
Yeah.
Crispin Glover look going on.
Yeah,
absolutely.
you do. So that benefits you. It's directed by and written by Robert Zemeckis. I mean, I don't even know how he
No,
tells
you
the
don't
story,
need it. You don't
but I
need to tell the
kind of
story.
do. I kind of want to tell you. So it's about Marty McFly. He's 17 years old. He's a high school student. He goes back to he's the typical 80s teen. He accidentally gets sent back to 1955 via the DeLorean. And during his trip back in time, how could this happen? He has to make sure that his parents meet and fall in love so that he can exist. And so the scene. They go to the school dance and
Something Under the Sea, right?
Enchanted Under the Sea.
Okay, there we go.
Enchanted.
Enchantment?
Enchantment Under the Sea. Yeah. And everything about this I love because I've told you many times before that I'd really like to have been born in the 50s generally because I like the dresses, the hair was awesome, and the music is so good. And so Michael J. Fox is Marty McFly, and he's tasked with hooking up his parents. And his dad is played by Crispin Glover. His mom is played by Leah Thompson. Getting the two together, she's really cool and beautiful and hip, and he's super nerdy and has greased over hair. And it's the cutest thing. So he comes in, and
Michael J. Fox is adorable.
he's adorable. He's so adorable,
yeah,
and so
cutest
is his dad in
person.
this too.
Yeah.
Like the way he's such a nervous, twitchy guy, and he's in love with Leah Thompson, who's out of his league. And so when he comes in, and the whole scene where he comes in, and remember when his hand is like this, and he goes to like punch Biff, and his hand starts shaking, and you're just like, oh, just hit him in the face. And so his hand starts shaking, and then he decks him in the face, and then when he goes to
So what first date is this? Whose first
They're
date?
at the dance. They
but
go to the
whose-
dance.
Whose first date are you picking?
I'm
Are you saying
picking-
the first date is Marty McFly with his mom, or is it Crispin Glover?
Crispin Glover and his mom when
So
they
that's
dance
the
at
top-
the Enchanted Under the
So
Sea.
that's the top 5 first
Yeah.
date for you.
Yeah.
That's the number one first
and then
date.
when he calls her like his density, and he said, "No, my
Hmm.
destiny." If somebody had said that to me, I mean, that would have been it.
You mean like when I proposed and I said, "Will you engage me?"
I actually thought that was very weird.
See, this is seriously, this is exactly what I'm talking about. On film, it's cute. In reality, it does not work, and I wish someone would have told me that so much sooner. I've done I've done stuff like this.
Did you say you're
and it
my
fails.
density?
No, I've said cool stuff lots of times, and it just
And it
doesn't play out
bombed.
well. Girls do not want this. Like they do not want it in reality. They want it in movies. They don't want the weird guy spying on you through binoculars who falls out of your tree.
Wait, what movie does that happen in?
This is in Back to the Future, the movie you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want that guy. They don't want the weird guy who's spying on you with binoculars. And for the girl who's out of his league.
Have you tried that too?
No, I've not tried.
Okay.
Not binoculars. We did a little bit of like it was goofy stuff. Like we would pretend and like knock on their window when they were having like a girls' night. We'd go knock on their windows and stuff like that for girls that we were.
Keep this information to yourself. This is weird.
Yeah, people know what I'm talking about. There's a few people who know what I'm talking about. But this is what I'm talking about. Is it just doesn't play out well in reality.
This scene would have, because again, there was the school dance, there was music, there was 50s music. This was top notch.
Top notch first date. I kind of, it's an epic scene. I don't think it's a great first date. I don't think it's a great first date.
It was good. It's good for everybody but you.
Here's a number one first date. If we're talking number one first dates, much like your Before Sunrise, pretty much. I want to say 80% of the movie takes place on the first date. This is 1987's Blind Date.
Never seen it. Oh, wait, is this where the guy's actually blind?
No.
No. What? I'm talking, Val Kilmer.
No. That's Love at First Sight. Also a terrible title. Also a terrible title for that. Gosh, that was a terrible movie.
So everyone can see in this one.
This is Blind Date, Bruce Willis. This is directed by Blake Edwards, starring Kim Basinger, Bruce Willis, and John Larroquette. I've got to emphasize the John Larroquette. I do like John Larroquette.
Night Court?
Night Court. And he steals every single scene he is in. He is hilarious.
He's hilarious, yeah.
And he's hilarious in this. And this is Bruce Willis's first movie, I think. Yeah, for sure. He plays a character called Walter Davis. He's a workaholic, kind of, uptight. His attention to all his work and very little to his personal life or appearance. Now he needs a date to take for this epic possible promotion, very sensitive situation where it's a dinner with Japanese guests who are coming in, and his boss has told him, like, bring a date, Walter, or else. So his brother sets him up with his brother's wife's cousin on this first blind date. So it's a blind date for a company outing. And the only thing that Walter needs to remember is, hey, she doesn't do well with alcohol. Actually, I think it's Phil Hartman plays his brother. It's like she gets a little crazy when she gets drunk. Or when she drinks. So, he kind of plays by the rules, but a little bit later on, champagne is pouring and he's having fun with her. Kim Basinger is very nice. And then
I feel like I remember this.
She goes bananas. And then the whole thing is, again, my theme so far is it's a series of unfortunate events that occur throughout the night that just keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Maybe I have seen this.
It is hilarious. And then you have John Larroquette, who's kind of playing the ex-boyfriend of Kim Basinger, who's after them and following them the whole night. He's hilarious. It would be a very memorable first date. And I think for me, I guess what it shows about myself as I think about this more is memorable to me doesn't have to be successful. It can be, you can laugh at bad situations, and like even bad situations can be humorous and then they can become memorable. So that's my big takeaway for that. If you have not seen Blind Date,
where is it available?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure I hope it's available on Amazon to rent. I want to see this again. I want to see License to Drive again. I want to see all these movies that I've said because at the time in which I saw them, I don't mind repeat watching of these movies in particular scenes. I can think of like 5 scenes at least in Blind Date that just still make me laugh. So really enjoyed that one.
It's on Amazon.
It is on Amazon. All right. Any movies that you wish you would have said or that you want to let people know that you were thinking of?
No, these were really the top.
I had Notting Hill.
5.
I thought about Notting Hill.
Yeah.
Some of the ones you mentioned I thought of.
Well, Sleeps in Seattle. Where was the date in that? Or like when Harry Met Sally.
So you guys made me do this poster with Sleepless in Seattle. That is not a date.
They go on a date though.
When do they go on a date?
When Harry Met Sally, is the pie scene a date?
That's it. I don't know if that's their first date.
Because that should have made the list, but I don't think
if that's a first date.
That's the thing. I don't think it was a date. So I think I don't know.
I had The Passenger's first date. Actually, was pretty good, where he gets the robot to, and then they go out and they, Aladdin. I know a couple audience members had there. Superman, flying, taking Lois Lane up in the air. That would have been a sweet first date.
That would be sweet, yeah.
Can't Buy Me Love. I mentioned that just a moment ago.
I have to rewatch that. I saw it in college.
Blue Valentine, you said ukulele, where he takes...
I fell asleep in that, I think.
Really?
Is that Michelle Williams?
Michelle Williams and Ryan Gosling. And he takes her on the first date playing ukulele and sings a little cute song.
Yeah, I didn't make it through that.
And then I said earlier to Naked Gun.
Yeah. No, I feel good about my list.
I don't know if you can call it a first date scene, because they get into a full-size body condom and then make love and then do a montage of date scenes.
What movie is this?
Naked Gun. Hilarious. Oh, it's so funny.
It sounds to me like you could definitely call that a first date.
It's definitely a first date.
I know that you've been there. So.
That's like a handshake to me, really. New to the episode that we're doing, since Tim's not here, obviously, we regret he will not be joining for the top fives, but Tim will send in a top 5 list.
Oh, did he send one?
He sent one in, and his top 5 list, I just saw it. I saw it after the fact.
Okay.
His top 5 list is pretty solid. It's Annie Hall at number 5, The Graduate at number 4, Brokeback Mountain at number 3.
Okay.
Number 2, Before Sunrise, hey.
And
number 1 for Tim, The Little Mermaid. So, yeah. Not bad company to be in, Kara.
See? I missed Tim being here right now.
Tim
I feel like we would have been like,
Tim has done a good job writing out exactly why, and in his eloquent way. We will be posting his comments onto our episode, I think, or he'll do a blog post. We'll figure out a way to get... He wrote like a very detailed reason why each one of these belongs there. So I don't want to miss out on that.
Tim.
As far as our audience go, every episode we randomly select one member of our audience who shared their top movie pick. Based on those submissions, here are our audience's top movies about top kisses, or not kisses, sorry, top first dates. It was a tie for 4, and then a bunch of ties for 5. So I'll just go through it was a tie for 1. 4 movies were tied for 1. It was Aladdin, Before Sunrise, Back to the Future, and then There's Something About Mary. So you had 2, right? You had 2 out of those.
I'm feeling good this week.
Not bad. And then our lucky winner this episode was Jonathan Watkins, who actually selected Before Sunrise. And he was questioning. He wondered if that one was in play. So
it definitely works.
Jonathan, great job. Shoot us an email at contact@alternateending.com. That's contact@alternateending.com for details on how to claim your free rental. If you want to win a free movie like Jonathan, be on the lookout for our top 5 movie posts on Facebook and Twitter to share your favorite picks. And then in closing, just want to say, go out to our social media, Facebook. We're active on there, posting those top 5 movie picks. We're going to be posting, what do we have next? We have our Oscar episode.
Yep.
We'll have to figure out how to do that, but we are running an Oscar ballot contest right now, too. Go to our Facebook page, check that out, fill that out for a chance to win $150 just for filling out a ballot. Also, check us out on Twitter. We're active there, alternateending.com, where you can read all of the reviews, blog posts, catch our podcast there as well. If you don't catch our podcast there, subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google. And then also want to say, for the people in the Madison area or close to Madison area, we are hosting a Madison Oscar party at our local movie theater at Marcus Point Theaters on February 26th. Shortly after that episode, after that event, we'll be recording our Oscar episode, going live on an unusual date of Tuesday, February 28th, but we're going to be kind of still scrambling to get everything figured out from Sunday night. We're going to be up Sunday night late, probably doing some Facebook living, probably doing some live tweeting, partying with everybody coming to the Madison Oscar party. So we need Monday to actually do a recording of a recap. So check us out then on February 28th, and we'll catch you guys there.